Welcome to another episode of the Fuck Conventional podcast. Today, I have a guest that has been working with me in my coaching container for the last 3 months. Across from me, well, across on the other world, basically, is Samira, and you are on the journey of building your own business. And it's a product-based business, and I'm super excited to talk with you about what was your journey like to be a founder? What are the challenges? What are the things that you've learned? But also, what has been your experience in my coaching container and what has shifted for you in that time working with me together? So, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, nice to see you, Jess. And again, my name is Samira. I'm the founder of Pink Dawn. Working on launching something that's very special to me. So on paper, my background looks pretty put together. I have a bachelor degree from one of the top business schools in the world. But at some point in my career, I was egg washing croissants every morning at 3 a.m. and packaging brownies for hours on end. But now I'm at a place where I feel like all of my life experiences have accumulated, and I'm at a place where I'm learning a little bit more about myself, thanks to Jess as well, and kind of really following that dream that was always there. Yeah.
That is so exciting. So, tell us about the product that you're currently building.
Yeah, so pink chai has always been this very beautiful traditional beverage from the Silk Road regions. It's not a traditional Indian drink, but rather from Kashmir, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. The issue is it's time intensive and super complicated to make. And for me, making that was just like, oh, this is such a beautiful drink. I want to have it all the time, but it takes so long, makes such a big mess. It takes about an hour for me to make it from start to finish. And I'm just like, I need something, especially as an ADHD mom of a toddler. There were times where I was making this drink and I'm like delaying my son's nap time. I'm like, oh, just 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes, because it takes a really long time to make it. And I don't have that kind of lifestyle to maintain that habit every day. But I like it to be a daily ritual of mine. And so that kind of forced me to come up with a solution to make a version of it. So you get the same feeling, same flavor, same beverage in your hand ultimately, but something that just takes 2 minutes instead. So
You do
that's
have
where
a
Pink
drink
Dot
next
came
to
from.
you. This is how the finished product looks like. It is so Instagram worthy. Like it looks so pretty, but it also has like a really great calming effect, right? Tell us a little bit about the ingredients of it and what makes this drink so special.
Yeah, like especially in the age of matcha and calm energy, pink chai is kind of like a hidden gem of the Silk Road. It's like a secret of the Silk Road that I want to share with people because it's like not only is it beautiful and Instagrammable, but it has that green tea base. So it's actually kind of like matcha's cousin. They both originated from China, and then one went towards Japan, one went towards Kashmir, and has that green tea energy, has those antioxidants, has the L-theanine, which is great for us ADHDers. Um, and then the spices in there all have their own benefits as well. It's a very warming beverage. People like to drink it a lot in winter time. And each region has its own variation. But I wanted to make a better for you version that you can make on a Tuesday afternoon without it affecting your daily flow. It's supposed to fit in effortlessly into your daily routines.
Mm, I love that. One thing I would love to dive into with you is you now live in the US, but you have lived in different countries. You have a different background. And so there's a lot of like cultural things that are playing into that as well that makes it special for you and kind of like a way for you to connect with your roots, right? So take us on that journey, why this is more than just like a nice drink to have, but how it also connects you to your background and like the experiences that you had growing up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a first generation immigrant, my parents were refugees from Afghanistan in the 80s, escaping a war zone. Um, I feel like a lot of us here in the diaspora living in Western countries, we are, like, for example, my culture is primarily, I would say, American, but I feel like at some point in life, you have experiences that you are able to tap into your like true identity. So it's kind of like a third culture, right? You're not American, you're not Afghan, I barely speak the language. Um, but you kind of create your own identity. in a way. So, and I think tapping into um, your family's traditions is something that comes on later on. So where I am at right now is rediscovering this tradition. Like my mom has never made this drink, but my grandma did. That
Mhm.
just proves like how difficult it is. My mom, she can't be bothered, to make it. So I'm like rediscovering these traditions, but making them ours. I feel like that's a lot of what a lot of people are doing who are, first generation immigrants living in the West. And then these flavors themselves, like living in Mexico, living in Saudi Arabia, as a traveling spouse, you don't really have a community where you are because you're always on the go, right? Like you make some friends and then, you have to move again. I think you understand that very well, Jess.
I do indeed.
Um, so in Mexico, our first location abroad, um, kind of build a community around these flavors. So I used to bake and started selling that to neighbors and whatnot, and people really just loved the flavors. It was fusion. I did like some Indian fusion, some Afghan fusion. My husband's Indian, and then some Mexican fusion too. So I made this like Mexican dessert called mostachon. It's a like kind of like a meringue cake mixed with Ritz crackers and pecans, and it's topped with cream and strawberries. And I put cardamom in that cream, which is a great, great flavor to go with strawberry. And people were just like obsessed. Like my a neighbor was mad at me because she just loved the flavor so much, and she was trying to lose weight, and it was not helping the case. So like these flavors are kind of like united people, and it allowed me to share my culture with people and share like a common identity that we're all enjoying life over flavors, even though it's maybe flavors that you're not familiar with, but people like discover those flavors and they love them, and we're just all enjoying life together over those flavors. So that's really something that helped me build that community. And in the pink chai now, a lot of those same flavors that I was using, well, those were in like sweets and baked goods. They're also in this beverage, which are used also, some similar Silk Road spices. We have saffron, rose, cardamom. So it's kind of like a full circle moment for me because this product for me is now helping me build a new community through Pink Dawn. So I think that's just a nice full circle moment.
It is. One of the reasons why I was so excited when you reached out and asked to come into my coaching container is to hear your founder story, because this is what I'm most passionate about. People that not just building a product because it's like nice to sell, but people who actually have like a great origin story and that have something that kind of is purpose driven and purpose connected to like what is the bigger mission that you're trying to achieve with this product. And this is something that you do with that because you bring basically so many things from your background together and also help it to make it more accessible within the Western world. And so this is why this is incredible, and also the journey that you've been on for the last couple of months and weeks that we've been working together. And basically the underlying thing of kind of lacking belonging from like obviously also being ADHD and maybe sometimes thinking a little bit outside of the box and doing things like a more unconventional way, but then at the same time, like you said, also moving and living in different countries in that sense. So it's been a journey and a process. I would love to dive in that with you to how the last couple of weeks building this brand helped you to also find your community and that sense of belonging in a place that you didn't feel like you belonged in the first place. So take us on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, where do I start? So through fitness, which you've helped me with in kind of establishing some good habits to help with ADHD, I've found a community that is full of other women who are building things. So, as you know, from me moving around, it was hard to find a community, and I think I was just trapped in my own head because I didn't really talk to a lot of people on a day-to-day basis. And this community, I am putting myself out there. I think as ADHDers also because we're so different and we tend to stick to ourselves and just like acknowledge that that's just how it is. I'm the odd one out. Um, um, People won't get me, but I think we don't realize that everyone is human just like us, and that everyone is going through similar things. And specifically in this community, I realized there are these women that are building things. I mean, everyone is just human. Like no one has got the memo that you didn't get, right? Something that we talked about on our last call. Like you feel like everyone else knows something that you don't. But just through actually getting out of my head and into the real world, just, interacting with people again instead of just, being a homebody. Like you come to terms with that, you know, we're better together and everyone can learn from each other as well. So that kind of inspired me to realize that like I don't have to be perfect. No one else is perfect, you know. I'm again, this is an ADHD tangent. I'm not sure if that answered your question.
That is
I
so
feel like this
clear.
happens far too often on your podcast. I feel like I've listened to a few episodes where it happens.
It's just a natural flow of conversation, and then you end up somewhere completely else. But that's what makes that so much fun. And I don't think you fully answered the question of like, how were you able to find belonging now within a community that, in a sense, you didn't feel like you were belonging with like some
Okay.
insecurities around weight and your lifestyle and things like
Yeah.
that, to now being so incredibly confident and having found your tribe, basically. That's kind of like the journey that I would love to dive into a little bit more.
Yes, yeah. So that's something that we talked about a lot in our coaching. That's one of the things that was holding me back a lot, as you know. Um, I would say that it had to do with kind of confronting the lies that you tell yourself. Um, there were a lot of lies that I was telling myself that I had to be a certain way. I had to basically not be Samira in order to get any kind of acceptance. And I was scared that would reflect on my brand. Like people would reject my product because of who I was. And that's just a complete lie, you know? That's just I don't know where these assumptions come from, but I think it's very common with us to because we've been the odd one out for so long, we just think that the default is rejection. When it's kind of the other way around, I think the default is acceptance. Um, Again, everyone is human. They just see you as another human. You're just having these assumptions. You're so scared, to go out in the world. But it's yeah, you have to kind of deal with the facts and realities, and part of that is getting out of your head and kind of reminding yourself of the facts. I think one exercise that we did together was the post-it notes on the wall, where you just state the facts of every day of, something that you did that affirms that identity that you want or that, you're trying to manifest, that is the future you, if not the current you. Um, and, sometimes those visual reminders are helpful for us because you always forget the positives and tend to focus on the negatives. So just visually reminding yourself, and affirmations that you are the person that you want to be. Like there's nothing else stopping you from becoming that person but your own, um, the own the restrictions you're putting on yourself. There's really nothing blocking you. Think that it's impossible to do something. And this like taps into just the larger ADHD mentality where um, you want to restrict yourself or you think that there's no way I can ever be like that or I don't know how to, but like why not, right? Like
Yeah.
literally why not?
One of the biggest things that obviously we went into the coaching is the sense of you need to be perfect, especially online, and create this perfect curated picture. But then it's also incredibly exhausting trying to live up to that. And like every video, right, to try to find a perfect angle and like look a certain way. And the journey and the process that we've been to together was very much about the more you started to show up as who you really are within the community, within the Pilates studio, within your content, the more resonance you got and the more people resonated with you as a founder, but also with your brand. And I think this is a big shift that we're starting to see because we've been so exposed for years to this overly curated version of ourselves online, and everybody's trying to paint themselves as perfect, where now we see a big shift of like people actually want to connect with your imperfections, with your authenticity. They want to see who you are as a founder, what makes this product special, why is this a big part of like your reason for this product. And this has been something that was so amazing to watch, how with each and every time you dare to show up as your most authentic self, and then sort of the positive feedback that came after that, and people that really resonated with you and now are following your journey and connecting with you on Instagram. So what would you say was the biggest shift for you to get the self-acceptance to show up more like yourself, it offline and online?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the online because that's where my head's at right now. Um, I mean, just with the repeated consistency of doing that posting, like you learn so much. You just think, okay, I'll just learn how to edit better, but it's so much more than that.
It
That
is.
is definitely, a big plus of just forcing yourself to post, just like doing it, just making it a thing that you do and not that you have to think so much over. Um, but that consistency, it teaches you that I mean, people are interested in what you have to offer. It's not anything about you as a person that they are judging. It's more about what you have to offer and the value that you can bring to them and into the world. It's, about telling stories, um, kind of communicating, your story in each post. That's, tale as old as time. Since the beginning, stories are what, attract people to listen and pay attention. Your story is what matters. Your ideas are what matter. People are not judging you or your ADHD or your appearance or whatever it is. What helped me start posting more is one of these specific exercises actually that we did. Um, I was inspired to post a story. It's unfiltered, just a casual talking head reel, because God knows I hated the talking head. I
I
hated the talking head
know.
videos. It was it was more of I like the compilations like documenting what I was doing, not having to look to the camera, avoiding all eye contacts, just thinking that you're not really truly visible in that sense, like working on the visibility, right? You're not truly visible, you're just kind of like far away from the camera, you're not talking to anybody. It's like imagine you're at a party, you're like avoiding eye contact with everybody, like you're not communicating with anybody. That's what that is, but what that talking head story did, like it was just literally like a 10-second story. And it was so funny too because I posted it. I'm like, I don't want to rewatch it because I'm going to overanalyze myself and I'm going to delete it. And what not rewatching that did actually, I rewatched it the next day after the damage was done. If I realized that I did not edit the beginning of the video, and I repeated the intro 3 times.
That is so
So
funny.
So I'm like, hey, today's another day in the Pink Dawn kitchen. And then like my son was also like dragging like at my feet, like he was bothering me, and you can hear him saying, Mama, Mama, Mama in the background. And I'm like, today's another day in the Pink Dawn kitchen. And then like a third time, I'm just like, today's another day in the Pink Dawn kitchen. Like, and I finished my thought about like I did a taste test with like a different chai brand, and like I had really good results, and I was super excited to get the flavor out there. I got a few likes on that story because of the and like the point of the story was I wanted to share with people that I had a really good like milestone and a great update to share. When I did see the post the next day, I did end up deleting it, okay? But what that did was I'm like, okay, I screwed up big time on my editing. I did something super embarrassing, which like, but I survived, right? I think it reminds you of that like we as ADHDers, we tend to go into the like fight or flight mode far too often where we think that the danger is near, like with like everything that we do, like the rejection will or the slight embarrassment will lead to complete rejection or just like, like you're not gonna survive it. You're not gonna live through it. Something bad is gonna happen. But I mean, that was a pretty embarrassing thing. And I mean, I survived. I didn't lose any followers. Um, um, yeah, I mean, if anything, like people, I think, just saw me show up regardless. And I think if you had to consider me posting that video where that I made a mistake in it, like positive, net positive or net negative, I would say is net positive because people enjoyed that part of the journey that I shared regarding, the brand that I'm working on. So yeah, that was actually a turning point, I think. I've posted a bit since then. I can work on my frequency, but I'm like, okay, like the worst has happened. I made a terrible like mistake in a video and I survived. So it doesn't matter what else happens in any other future videos. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll survive it no matter what. And as long as I'm, sharing my story, people are still going to enjoy and resonate with it and continuing to, root for me in the journey.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that is such a human moment. Like you're a mom, your kid is there. Like I'm sure some other moms watched it and could really relate to it because you know how many moms are like founders and trying to create content, and at the same time, like a child is there and needs care and like all of these things. Like it's literally the most human thing in the world. And this is the thing of like your brain made it seem like such, oh my God, like this is so embarrassing, but it was just so human. And when we normalize that and take that pressure away of like, I need to present myself in a certain aspect, that's when you're confident, like where your confidence comes from. And also, how you show up online is just a reflection of how you show up offline, right? Like the reason why you're so much more confident in your content now and how you show up online is because of all the work that we did offline. And the biggest part of what you mentioned before is like the subconscious rewiring of like actually looking at the thoughts that we have on a daily basis about ourselves and all these stories that are just running in the background without us even noticing, and just doing some different exercises where you bring awareness and attention to these thoughts and these patterns, and to see there's no actual real reason why you feel this way, and it's just a story, like you said, that you're telling yourself that is stopping you from actually creating the thing that you want. And so by diving into these and doing exercises of writing down every single day things that you love about yourself and shifting the awareness to the positive, and then starting to gain your confidence with showing up in the gym differently, starting to build a different routine, that obviously ripples into how you show up online, right? So I would love to talk about the fact that when we started working together, you were still taking ADHD medication. And with the protocol that we're now on with like supplements and diet and everything, you're now basically not taking them anymore, right?
I'm not taking them anymore. I have a stock of what I had, for the month, maybe 2 months worth or something there. But I've stopped taking it since because I mean I always wasn't a fan of the idea. Like I'm the last person to like take even like a paracetamol when or Tylenol for Americans when when I'm feeling like in a lot of pain. So like I really don't like taking medication, let alone strong medications, but you know you're used to people telling you that this is the only treatment, this is the best treatment for ADHD. And because I was so desperate, I guess, just for help, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, regardless of my mom's fears. Just Maria, I don't want you on that stimulant medication, please, or regardless of like the Strattera I tried before that. That one was like putting me to sleep, and I was the only one at home taking care of my son. So like we're putting ourselves in a lot of difficult positions as people who are just desperate for change in our lives. Like we want to do so much. We're not lazy. We're not we don't have character flaws. It's like we actually want to do amazing things, but we're just we can't in our baseline, like we limit ourselves, and then we're being told different things from different sides. So yeah, I haven't taken that in a long time. When I first saw your workbook and I saw that you promote supplementation of all these natural things and like starting your day with protein, I'm just like, okay, I can do this. It seemed like a lot better a solution, especially, just from a scientific perspective. It's like, okay, so the brain's, lacking in this, so we're going to supplement with this, that'll help with that. And we're gonna like kind of just like hack it, it's kind of just like biohacking in its own way.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that outlook better because I love just learning things from a scientific perspective as left brain people, I think most of us are. Um, you when you understand how something works, and it's a lot easier to, address or to solve any problems that may arise regarding that. So yeah, just solving things at the root cause is very satisfying for me. So, just seeing that, taking some of that. The L-theanine is great. That's helped a lot, I think, with like impulsivity. We have the L-tyrosine, the lion's mane, omega-3s, vitamin D. Those are the ones that I'm taking pretty regularly.
Mhm.
And I mean, I feel pretty good. I don't feel like I need the stimulant medication. I think I still have a long way to go in terms of fixing my kind of routine, getting the ideal day going. But I would say like energy wise and like motivation to do things is a lot better. So I really like that approach. And I would encourage anybody who thinks that the stimulant medication is the only way that they can survive and function, really explore the natural way supplementation. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, you have that as a backup, but give it a shot first. You may be surprised.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. This is one of the
Yeah.
things that honestly makes me the happiest because I've been on a own journey. Like it wasn't ADHD medication, but I've been on antidepressants for so long. And I thought this is the only way to regulate my mood and to, get like a handle over my impulsivity and all of these things. And there was never any other option that I was handed. And it took me like it's been 8 years now since I started studying nutrition and traveled the entire world and tried all these different natural healing modalities and things like breath work and meditation and kind of found a protocol that really works to manage your busy brain without having to rely on those substances. And the thing is, like, once you understand the protocol and understand the easy things, because people completely overcomplicate it, but if you focus
Mhm.
on the basics, then you can get incredible results within a really short amount of time. Like we've been working together for 3 months, which is not a long time. And yet there has so much changed in how you feel about yourself, how your energy is, your level of like self-identity and all of those different things, which is so incredible to watch. And all of that tools that you've learned, you now have forever. And you don't have to rely on these things anymore. And I know how frustrating it is to go to the healthcare system and then it's like, you can't even blame like the health practitioners because some of them haven't even learned about nutrition, so they don't really know it any better, and they have so many patients that they're so overwhelmed. So like of course the only solution is here's this pill, take this. But when we actually go into the root cause, this is when we find like an incredible way to do things differently in a way that is actually benefiting us long term, and especially as founders when we're trying to build something, to not having to rely on anything external, but knowing, okay, like this was a sleep pattern, this is what I was eating, and all of those different things and how to bring them together. So I'm so happy to see that all of these things helped you so much, and made you feel so much better. So what would you say, like looking back now, were the things that you feel like the biggest shift within yourself after these 3 months working together?
I think the main thing, if you had to like kind of summarize it, is that, well, I mean, initially you overthink everything. So I mean, that's one of the traits that's like, the main thing I feel like that blocks us from our potential. Trying to get things perfect before you move, or thinking you have to be a certain way before you can even do something, but like doing that thing actually helps you become that thing that you think that you had to be before doing the thing. Um, so, nothing really gets done when you have that mindset. And like the biggest change is this mindset itself. In terms of like the systems in place, that is on me. I still have some work to do. But granted, this is the pre-launch phase of the business. So, I mean, I am, tapping into allowing myself those hyper-focused 1 a.m. moments to get crap done because, I mean, I got to take advantage of those moments when they're there. But I promise it'll be better after launch, okay? Just don't hate me. It
And
will,
I'm
it
here
will.
to support you.
Yes, yes. And I think the biggest change is speed. Like as a result of that, you don't hesitate as much in your business. You don't hesitate in going out there and getting your goals because you could just like overthink forever and literally nothing will get done. This is realizing that the desire for perfection before action is only impeding your progress. There's literally, I mean, the best way is to just like start, right? Like the entrepreneur slogan, what there's a book, right? Start before you're ready. That's like the slogan. And it's so true. Like I never really agreed with that in the past because I was the biggest perfectionist. My family hates me for that. Just the perfectionist part, like it really just is just crazy, but I'm starting to let go of that. And I think my life is really, really improving as a result of that. More so from like the supplements, and I'm sure that those help a lot, but we have two kind of things that we've been working on. One is kind of like the routines and like supplementation side, like the like regulating side, and the other side is the identity stuff, which I think they are interconnected, but it's also a whole beast on its own. And a lot of the issues there did come from ADHD thoughts and just the way that we're wired to think. Um, so that's, I think, where more of the change came, and that does serve as a good foundation to continue working on the other side with my routines. But like, I'm not, it was a big payoff to work on the identity stuff because um, has a huge change in my day to day and in the results that I'm seeing. In the gym also, um, just in my business, like in my family and my relationships. And just I'm a lot calmer, It's, not as impulsive, not as angry. And I love that it kind of reflects my brand as well because we're all about that calm energy. This brand is for women whose calm is their superpower, right? So I was not really a calm person growing up, but through this business, as a necessity, I've had to learn to regulate myself and learn that, calm is your superpower. So like this brand taps straight into that, which I love. And um yeah.
It's really amazing to see how much has shifted. And if I think about who was sitting before me only a couple of weeks ago and who is sitting in front of me now, and there has been like a few milestones that were really big that didn't seem so big at the time. But just small things. And this is what most people miss, and why coaching can really help mirror that back to you. There was this moment where you couldn't go to Pilates. And instead of saying, hey, okay, this is just what it is, like, cannot go today, you were like, okay, I'm going to do a home workout. And it seems like something so insignificant that people oftentimes dismiss this. But these are the things that show that you have built a new identity for yourself because you start showing up for yourself no matter what. And in the last call, we also looked over your vision board, and things that seemed so far away and kind of like a little bit out of reach for you just like 3 months ago, now a lot of these things are actually reality. And I love to see that because it just makes it so much more tangible to see, oh my God, like all of these things that seem so far, like years away, a lot of them are already reached within 3 months, which I think is also like a big confidence boost and reaffirms that identity work that we have been doing and that subconscious rewiring throughout these 3 months together. So that was like a really big milestone where I also felt so proud of you for achieving that. And just, yeah, how you show up, the level of confidence, the level of calm, and just, yeah, supporting you in that journey. So that was special.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, those some, it's the little moments I feel like that are the most telling. Yeah. I mean, if not the little moments, then what? Like those are what make the majority of our days. Um, so yeah, I didn't realize those were milestones at the moment, but you had to call me out on it and just like, hey, Samira, like like listen, like this is the reality. This is what you just did. Like, hello. And I'm just like, oh, you're right. Yeah. So, you have to take a step back. It just goes back to like how we tend to focus on the negatives and it's hard for us to remind ourselves of the positive. So we have to keep reminding ourselves of the reality and stop telling ourselves lies. Just acknowledge the reality and, continue to work towards that, working with you. I don't think I would have gotten here without that. Before I started working with you, I remember that first call, I was just like so scared. I was like, okay, yeah, well, here's, however many dollars that was the investment. I'm like, okay, well, this is just another one of my ADHD impulsive decisions. This money's gonna go to waste, like everything else. But I was very pleasantly surprised throughout this. So, like, if anyone is doubting, to invest in themselves. You think maybe you're not worth the investment because the ADHD has lied to you all this time, telling you that it's going to prevent you from accomplishing anything ever, and you just have to deal with being average for your whole life, and that's just how it is. Oh well, you're bad luck, you know? That's not the case. I made a decision to invest in myself with the last amount of savings that I had from my bakery job in 2020 or 2021. Um, and it's so worth it. Like you have to take a step and just like, okay, I am worth it. I am gonna invest in myself. I am worth that investment. I'm scared of, I have like my husband who's supporting me, in this business as well. He's putting in some funds. So I'm like, it's crazy to think that someone else trusts you enough or that wants to invest in you, like because you've let yourself down so many times in quitting and, doing weird jobs for close to minimum wage. Um, and just for it to amount to nothing and then like quitting and then moving on to something else and then you're interested in so many things, your brain is so powerful and it's so passionate, you're interested in so many things and like you can't choose, and you do this and you do that and like nothing ever stays consistent because the dopamine wears off once you've learned everything there is to learn about the thing.
Amen. I feel that so much.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried so many things, and I mean, I have a degree like in from a top business school, but I'm like, I've gotten to positions where I just feel so embarrassed to even share what I'm doing or where I'm at because your peers, it just seems like your peers are just doing so much better than you. All my classmates are like working as top consultants in like huge corporations, and again, there I was packaging brownies, putting labels on brownie boxes, and egg washing croissants every day for a year straight, like. Um, but all of those experiences, they lead us somewhere. You got to stick with it, keep trusting in yourself, keep believing in yourself because ADHD is a superpower. And that's how I actually found you, Jess, was through that ADHD is a gold mine post you did from sitting in your bed with your messy bun on Instagram. I'm just like, somebody who understands, like, you have so much potential. You have so many great ideas, but you cannot execute, right? It's just like, I'm like, I have this business that I'm working on. It's like, it cannot turn out like all of the other hobbies and or side hustles that died, right? There's no way, like, you're done playing small, right? It's like, it needs to be so much better because now, like, maybe your family's starting to depend on it or what's going on is it kind of takes you to that next step. And for me, it was a time for that. I'm just like, I need to stop playing small. I need to set myself up for success to create a sustainable business because I can't quit this time. It's not a choice. It's not an option. So really taking that moment and choosing to invest in myself because we know our potential is so much more than our actual and I think it's time to take that step forward and I think a lot of us have gold mines, untapped gold mines
Yeah.
um, that if you take the step and work with somebody like Jess, I think it's well worth the investment because you are so worth it. I think you are so worth it. I mean, it'd be a waste to not invest in yourself when you know that you're a gold mine, right? I think it'd be a waste to not invest in yourself. If you really think about the investment, it's the best ROI, I feel like, right? Investing in yourself. If you know you if you have a sense that you have really good potential, but you cannot execute, I mean, invest in yourself ASAP because once you address those root issues, you're unstoppable.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this because I feel like this is such a big one. Like, so much of our business success comes down to the subconscious beliefs that we hold about ourselves because they shape every single decision that you make in your business. And so, how you show up, not just how you show up online, but also how you're willing to invest and how you show up for your product and your people and the mission and all of those different things. And people always think they just need a better business strategy. But what they need is like coming to terms with who they are, having that self acceptance, and therefore showing up and making mistakes and learning from that. And this is the whole process of being an entrepreneur and a founder, right? There's so many bumps on the road. And it's all about no matter how many bumps and how many obstacles are in your way, that you keep going because you trust yourself enough. And I feel like that was one of the biggest things that we worked on, to build that self-trust within you. Even though your way wasn't linear and it wasn't always going according to plan, but to show you all the amazing things that we already achieved in your vision and your mission and why you're so passionate about this. And so yeah, I I love this work so much, and it fulfills me every single time to like hear a story like yours. So thank you so much for sharing. I would love to know, because we already agreed that we're going to do another update probably in like a year's time to see what your
Mhm.
founder journey has been like. So just tell us where you currently at, where, like, what is the launch phase of your product? When can people buy it? And then, yeah, where can people sign up for the waiting list?
Yes, a waitlist at pinkdawn.co/waitlist. That's pinkdawn.co/waitlist. And that will get you signed up for the email list, which I'll be sharing launch updates with, and there'll be an intro promo as well. And you'll get first access before public launch as well. I am doing only 1,500 bags of the pink chai latte at launch, so they will be limited stock. And the timeline looks like going back to that self-trust and like starting before you're ready. Just like when no one is going to be 100% ready ever because there's always going to be room for improvement in something. So at this point, like until last week, I was like fine-tuning my spice blend down to the like 0.01%. And it was getting a little crazy. It was just like I mean literally you can go 0.011%, 0.0101%, like whatever it is, like technically, you could do that forever and then just never launch. So, got some wisdom with my developer. I was having a chat. I'm like, please, I need your wisdom. He was like, you know what, let's just launch this. Let's just do it. It's like I needed that push because like you have to, it's a reminder to start before you're ready. So like, okay, it's good enough. I've tested it at a couple events. We got some really good feedback at both events. And I'm just like, let's just get the product alive and breathing, and then we can adjust from there. It's only 1,500 units, we're not dreaming small, we're dreaming big, so that's just a drop in the ocean. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go from there. I'm estimating to launch in pre-orders in May, and then I'll be traveling abroad during that time, but as soon as I get back, and then I'm gonna have that factory date scheduled. So sometime mid-June, I plan to have the store live. So that's really exciting because like we finally just something I've been working on since August, the formulation, right? Finally, just taking the step forward, trusting yourself before you're ready, of forgetting the idea of perfectionism because it really doesn't exist, actually. Um, and then we'll just iterate, like, learning that, you can make a mistake and you can embarrass yourself, but you'll survive. So, that little milestone, like you said, of that story that I posted where I didn't edit the beginning and I repeated the intro three, four times. Um, like I survived that. So like no matter what happens here, it's good enough. We're gonna get it out there in front of people and I'll survive it. We can make changes, we can improve, and we'll survive. Like it's gonna be okay. So yeah, I'm gonna launch hopefully, in the next couple months. We're getting there, slowly but surely.
So exciting. And you had your first like little pop-up event at the Pilates studio where like some people were
Yeah.
already able to try it. I'm also going to be linking your Instagram so that people can follow the journey, because you share so much also behind the scenes of being a founder and your mission and how things are going with your product, which I think is so exciting to see. Because it's one thing if you already have this perfect product and all these influencers who are promoting it, but I feel like it's so much more exciting to actually see what is happening behind the scenes and how much it actually takes to build that and to follow that journey. So that is super exciting. So I'm going to be linking everything in the show notes, and then I'm even more excited to do like an update in a year and to see how much has changed.
Let's see. I'll just list a couple of goals so we can just
Yes.
assess at a moment. Um, as soon as I launch online, this is, designed to be a daily ritual. It's better for you, pink chai. It's lightly sweetened. has that calm energy, and we've added a pomegranate extract in there called Grantria that is proven to support skin radiance, and your glow. So this is, to help women tap into their internal inherent strength as women, and kind of have that skin support and that calm energy, just get you to crush your goals. So this is for your everyday, and then after that, I do want to launch wholesale into some cafes. I do have a couple cafes that like have already reached out to me just because of the visibility. So, being visible helps. So being visible is better than being perfect. Just know that, anyone who's listening. So I want to launch into some cafes, hopefully at least five by 1 year time. And then I would love to be able to ship to Canada and the UK at the bare minimum. Maybe not by the end of a year, but I'll be working towards that. And then maybe we'll be doing some stick packs for inconvenience on the go. Um, let's see, hope maybe I'll launch another flavor by then. I'm thinking of a saffron flavor. This one is light on the saffron, but saffron is so good for your mood as well. And it can taste really nice in this beverage. I think I want to do a saffron flavor. Um, yeah, I mean, so many ideas, right? Just got to keep with it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh my God, you're my first podcast, Jess. That was on my vision board, you know that. So check mark there. I want to be on, let's see, two more podcasts. I want to be featured in a few publications online. I'm putting myself out there in the PR world as well. We'll see, we'll see.
I'm so excited and I'm so like I feel so honored to be the first one to have you on my podcast and to follow this journey. Like this is going to be so exciting.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, managing expectations, but I mean also, not playing small anymore. So, yes, and there's certain vulnerability in saying that out loud. But yes, I believe in myself now. I trust myself. Tapping into that gold mine, and I don't want to go back.
Yeah. You've come incredibly far within such a short amount of time. And so it's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be an amazing product. I can't wait to taste it. So we need to find a way to get this into Bali or wherever I'm going to be living then. And yes, super excited. So I just wanted to say thank you for your trust, to walk this way with me and for your courage with how you showed up and be vulnerable and share these things and went into things that are not always easy. And yeah, you've come incredibly far. And so it's very exciting.
No, thank you for everything that you do. I know you do it more, not even, just as the work that you do for your living, but for the results that you get. I can tell it's so satisfying for you. Like just the look on your face right now, it's just like you can tell you have such a passion for this work, and like that's why you get results because if somebody's doing it, just they're not gonna get the results. But I can see like literally in your face right now. It's like you get results for people. So I am honored to be one of your clients because I know you're only going to become bigger too after this. So hopefully once your Instagram gets back online too.
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. For everyone who's listening, check out her Instagram, check out the waitlist, sign up to get some pink chai. And yeah,
Instagram.com/pinkdawnco. Pink Dawn Co is the handle.
all right. Perfect. Okay, Samira, thank you so much. It was an incredible interview. Thanks for being so vulnerable and sharing these things and sharing your story. And yeah, I'm I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll to whatever
Thank you.
comes next.
Anyone who listened through these tangents, kudos to you. Just, I'm proud of you. I'm proud you did that.
All right.